attractive than a heavy praying woman. To a him when those in them been deaf.
Okay, so I talked about how you can win with your mental I'm trying to say wellness and wholeness at the same time. So those are some things that you can do. I mean, I can talk about it for days and days, but we'll probably save that for another video. But we're going to talk about your healing and your health. Honey, I'm going to try my best not to camp out on this one. So, child, I ain't got to write nothing down for this, child. I don't need nothing written down for this one. So, one of the ways that the devil is going to come for you, so as you're developing weight with God, when he realizes that, okay, we have somebody over here that's not bound by her thoughts. He's not bound by the way he feels. I can't stop what God has in his life by his thoughts. He's moving beyond my launches. I'm going to have to find a way to attack them and get cheap access back into their mind. So when he attacks, I always believe people who have health issues, especially the weird stuff, you always go to the doctor. There's always some rare, weird kind of disease. He's after that person because he can't infiltrate their thoughts like he wants to anymore. So the battle is not yours. No, I'm kidding. So the battle's not, I was going to say the battle's not yours, it's the Lord, but I'm going to tell you how to fight for your health. So one thing, when you build a constitution for you're vibing with God, God will usually tell you that you're about to go on a healing journey. One thing about God, when he talks to you, he never talks to you about your disease. So, this whole time I have gotten horrific health reports. This whole time, God has never said, Jamie, you have sarcoma. Jamie, you have this. God always says, Jamie, the fruit of your womb is blessed. He never mentions disease or diagnosis. So when you have any thought, when it comes to your healing, if it comes to, if it just comes to sickness and it's fear and it's anxiety, it's the devil. And so you've already got some experience with God, and you got some weight with God, and you got experience with the devil. So I'm going to show you how you can defeat him when he's coming for you, when he's coming for your body. The body is the bait. When he comes for your body is because you are a threat. So how you can win you can smile in any storm. You can win in any thing that the devil tries to throw at you. So God usually already kind of gives you forewarning if you're going to go on a healing journey. If you haven't received anything from God, it's okay on the front end, because we're going to invite God in your journey. So one of the things I always tell people as you go through your healing journey, whatever happens, whatever the report is, always invite God in and say, this is what the doctors are saying. This is the treatment plan, and find out through God, what is my spiritual treatment plan? How am I going to walk away from this with wholeness? Now, God does not create disease. He's not the author of sickness. He's not the author of death. But sometimes God will allow certain things in your life to come through so that he can get the glory, or he may be trying to reach someone in that area. So don't take any attack personal. Don't take on the identity of the diagnosis, the identity of whatever the devil's trying to put on you. Don't do it. I don't wear no ribbon. I don't do no marches. I don't do no walk. I don't brag on how I pray. I don't be like, well, I'm a prayer warrior of this. No, I'm not. I rely heavily on God. When a diagnosis comes, or when they try to attach something to you, I want you to immediately, in that decision, decide, this is who I'm going to be. This is how I'm going to be as I am facing this. I've already won the battle. I don't need the evidence to prove that I've won. I've won because I'm with God, and this is how I'm going to be. I'm going to be cute. These are some of the things I decided early. I'm going to be cute. I'm not going to walk around sick. I'm going to be happy. It's not going to take my personality. It's not going to take my femininity. I'm not going to think I'm less of a woman because this has happened to me. I am not going to become what has happened to me. Every doctor's appointment, every moment of the day, I was cute. Because one of the things that the devil likes to do is if he can distort the way you view yourself, he has you, because you have to come bold to the throne. You have to be bold in faith. If he can start to distort how you look and how you feel, it actually it can, if you're not careful, if you're not standing with God in the best way that you know how, it will actually affect your prayer life and how you reach, because faith requires a part of you. It requires grit. So what he tries to do is he tries to distort how you look, distort how you think, distort how you feel, just so that he can try to get the upper hand in your prayer life. So everything that you do in your life, everything, you have to make a statement. I make a statement with everything that I do. Everything. You can't have my hair. This is the thickest my hair has ever been. I could chill at this level, but because the devil even tried to mess with my hair, I'm now making a statement with it. You know, you have to have that type of grit, and you have to fight. You can't just be like, I mean, you'll have those moments, but you're not going to stay in them. All right, I don't know why I'm so dramatic. There's nothing wrong with crying. I actually like crying now. I used to think crying and being sad was so weak, but it's actually not. It's good for your immune system and your nervous system, and you just got to let it out. Don't carry it. Just let it out. I feel like people are crashing out because they're not crying enough. They're not expressing how they feel. You just got to let it out. But nonetheless, when you're going through this journey, you're going to get your treatment plan through God. What I want you to do immediately after you get your treatment plan, because I already know the Lord going to tell you to do this, you need to go down a forgiving tour. You need to get with God and find out, where is unforgiveness at? I need to get my whole list. The reason why I'm a forgiving girly is not because I'm a good person. I am a forgiving girly because if you have unforgiveness in your life, your prayers will go unanswered. Because when you have unforgiveness, the devil is legalistic. He has the legal grounds to uphold your prayers. Your prayers technically will not go unanswered, but they will never manifest in the physical realm because of the unforgiveness. You don't want the devil to have any legal grounds to stop what God is trying to do in your life. You don't want God to be limited on what he can do for you because you have unforgiveness. So you're going to have to swallow your pride. Going through your healing journey, because I don't claim sickness. It requires a level, it don't even require it. It's a level of vulnerability. Because now you're rolling with the big dogs of faith. Now you have to fight to protect your mind, your personality, your body, and you're doing all this by faith. So you're going to have to get before the Lord and say, I need to know what's holding this up. He'll tell you. He'll give you a list. Start working on that list. To me, the best way to forgive, y'all do what y'all do. Everybody got a different level of believing. But my way I forgive, and this is how I keep the upper hand. The devil doesn't have any upper hand in my prayer life. I forgive with a gift. So what I do is I let it go. I don't tell the person I forgive them. But what I do, no. I'm not going to say I don't do. No. I'm being for real. Let me be real with y'all. I don't go up to people and be like, I forgive you. I don't do that. How would you feel if somebody walked up to you and was like, Jamie, I forgive you? Like, what? My way of forgiving, I forgive, I let go. So I go to God and I'm like, Lord, I'm letting this go. I'm not holding on no more. I'm not carrying the burden of this. This is what happened to me. You saw it. You know what happened to me. I'm going to forgive. I'm going to sow mercy in the situation. And I'm going to let go. I don't diss people on the internet. I don't do all that. That's not my thing. I don't have that type of time. I move on quick. But what I do, I learned this from my girl, Joyce Meyer. I sow a seed of forgiveness. And when I sow a seed of forgiveness, I give gifts. A person who did me dirty hate to see me coming with a gift bag. When you see me coming with a gift bag, baby, if you see me coming with some flowers, baby, it's because I am severing this thing, because this will no longer have any legal ground to uphold anything in my life. So there's different ways you can forgive. You set the measure with God. You set the measure on how far and how deep you want him to fight for you. Because when the devil attacks you with extremity and you go to the Lord, you want the Lord to be able to move, because we always set the measure. When it says you give and it shall be given back to you in a good measure, pressed down, that scripture, That's not just for money. That's everything. That's mercy. That's compassion. That's empathy. You set the measure on how God's going to be with you. That's what I think is brilliant about God. Even when God does, like, God's judgment is so G to me, because we really don't get what we deserve. We set the measure. So, you're always, every day you're always sowing, and you're always setting the measure on how God's going to be able to move through you. But what I do, I just sow a gift. It'll be money. It'll be encouragement. It'll be praying. What I do too, like people who get on my nerves, somebody did me dirty, I pray and I let it go. And God rewards it. He gives double for trouble, beauty for ashes. You can't get the ashes without the beauty, and He gives you your healing, child. When I see people leave here premature with their healing, it's because they refuse to forgive. You have to forgive. It's required. God says, forgive those. Sorry, let me remix it real quick. God says He can't forgive us if we don't forgive others. That one act of unforgiveness will hold up your healing manifestation. It'll hold that baby up. Have to sow the seeds that are difficult to plant. And the only way you can defeat this devil, I see a lot of people talking about, oh, you got to go through your lineage, you got to do that. Before you do all that, I don't know about all that, but before you do all that, I want you to start with forgiving. And the thing that I think that's so cute, so when I did my faith treatment plan with my healing, I went through my whole list. And when I got to the end of it, I was like, okay, I'm good. Lord, when's my doctor going to call me? And God said, you forgot to forgive yourself. I said, excuse me? I was at Pastor Kim Church. The Lord brought up something I did that was so stupid. I'm going to do a video on forgotten business. I don't know why I'm dropping this, but part of this story is going to be in that video. But it was something that I did was so stupid. I think I was like 21 or 22. That one dumb thing haunted me for years. And the Lord said, because you have not forgiven yourself for what you did, you are stopping me from being able to move. And I was like, oh no, you don't have to forget, I deserve this, I deserve that. He said, Jamie, you are about to forfeit your healing because the devil keeps telling you that you don't deserve your healing because of something that you did 10 years ago. He said, you're going to have to forgive yourself. Child, nobody laid hands on me. I hit the floor. And when I let it go, my healing opened up just like that. And let me tell you something. Sometimes I get watery-eyed when I'm on TikTok, because there was a young girl who just posted, I think she was 22, and she posted her stomach, and she said her stomach kept growing and growing. Her stomach looked just like mine, same symptoms, same everything. She was diagnosed, but they tried to diagnose me. She's on chemo, she's on radiation. I know God came through for me, because girls who are younger than me are getting diagnosed with the same thing, and they're leaving here premature. So that's why I tell God, anything you need me to do, I'm going to do it. I know He was going to say a pastor thing, child, but we going to work with it the best way we know how. But nonetheless, in your healing journey, forgiving. Be quick to forgive. Tell God, help me to forgive. And I'm going to tell you something too with this healing journey. Say the doctors give you got maybe 6 months. They're like, you got 6 months to make a decision on this before it metastasizes. But your faith level is going to take you 5 years to override it. Because, some things take time to override in your faith. It's not just like that. This is a journey. Say the doctor's like, you got to make a decision in 6 months, but it's going to take 5 years to build your faith up. What God does when you are rocking with Him, when you're rocking with Him, do not pay attention to the logic and the optics that come with your healing and your health. When you rock with God, He's going to break the rules in that. So when you go back in 6 months, they're like, okay, well, technically, we'll probably do like another year. You'll start to see systems and technology and treatment. It'll actually change as you are rocking with God, because God is very merciful, and God knows that a lot of us have been done really dirty. People have violated us, done all kinds of stuff. It's going to take us a minute to build our faith up. As long as you include God with it and you make His voice louder than anything else, you can defeat this devil. So some people are like, well, it's going to take me I can't do it, Jamie. It's going to take me 2 years and I got to make a decision in 2 weeks. Partner with God and watch him break the rules for you, because he knows. The Lord knows. That's why I rock with the Lord. He's merciful. So with your healing, you want to be quick to forgive. And then as you're going through your treatment plan, God is going to guide you. Ask God, why am I being attacked well, you know what? You probably don't have to ask him that. He'll tell you later. But I'll just tell you my story. God came to me after my treatment and everything. No cancer. You can have children. Well, that's another story. So God came to me and he said, you never asked me why you were attacked at the magnitude that you were. And I wasn't in the mindset. God came to me and said, Jamie, the reason why you're attacked the way you are with your uterus, because there's tumors sitting in my uterus as I speak right now. There's tumors that are in the actual cavity where the baby's supposed to be at. That's a whole nother story, child. God said it's because God told me I am purposed to birth 5 children, and God said all of my children are pastors. Now the Lord told me this before he told me I was going to be a pastor. I was like, why would you ruin my life like this? I'm kidding. So God is going to tell you what is at stake, because see, when I go through this, maybe one day I'll do a video on my current health, but this is not something you go through if you have the desire to have children. The type of reports and the type of life, I've changed my entire life around to align myself with the position of heaven of what God wants to do with my life. You don't do this if you have the desire to have children. That's what my doctor said. She said most women would have tapped out already. God came to me and said, no, you have to have, the reason why you're being attacked this way is because it's 5 children you are going to birth. They were actually only treating me just for me to have 1 child. And God came to me and said, if you can't believe me for all 5, don't believe me for 1. That's why I'm constantly building my faith up. I go to prayer summits. I go over here. I go to Africa. I go talk up here, because what I face is nothing small. But nonetheless, God told me all 5 of your children are going to be pastors. So I was thinking to myself, so I'm not even being attacked on the Jamie Sellers. I'm not being attacked on the Jamie Sellers scale. My body is housing 5 altars. That's why he's coming for me for blood. So you have to kind of know the games the devil play, because you have to be able to stand. So if an excruciating pain comes to you that is crippling, you don't fold and get a procedure to fix the pain in that moment. You fight for the purpose. See, that's why I say, like, if you want to kind of know what your rank and your weight is with God, pay attention to how you are attacked. And there's no attack that's stronger than God's presence. So the more you're attacked, God will house himself on you. You know, when I look back, someone sent me a picture of myself. I could not believe. I said, how in the world was I walking around like that? Because God housed himself. He gave me the grace to do it and to still keep my personality. I hope this video makes sense. Because I'm telling all my tea for my children in Africa. But that's how you win in your health. I hope you got something from this. You know, have a conversation with God. Don't identify with the diagnosis. Have a support system. If you have any type of illness, any type of sickness, you need to be in a church. Whatever you go through, whatever the side effects are with medication or treatment or whatever, because the devil comes in your most vulnerable moments. When you're going through this, you're more in a vulnerable state. Your defenses are down. He's going to still try to attack your mind, because remember, he's trying to drag you back to your mind. The body is the bait. So it's really not about Jamie Sellers' uterus. He's trying to stop the five children in their churches. So the warfare, that's why it's so intense. That's why I be inside. That's why I don't be dating, because I know that whoever I'm interested in, they're about to go through hell. It's because I know what he's trying to stop. But have a conversation with God. A lot of people are like, God, don't talk to me. You ain't been through enough hell yet. When you start going through some hell, the Lord's going to show up. So don't take the attacks personal. And just tell the devil, I tell the devil, when the devil come for me, you sure you want to do this? You do know if you strike me with this, if you come for me, about 100 people are about to find out who God is today. You sure you want to play with me? But when you're going through your healing journey, right? The devil wants you to be so bogged down, so worn out in your faith with what is physically happened to you, because remember, it's the bait, that you're not even thinking about why he's attacking me like this. So when stuff tries to come on my body, because God told me there's 2 diagnoses that are supposed to actually be coming this month. When the devil comes to me with these false diagnoses and these lies, I don't even look at it from a Jamie Sillers perspective. I start calling out my children, all 5 of my kids, all 5 of their ministries, because that's what he's trying to stop. But you have to think how weak he is. He don't wait till the kids get here until they want to be a pastor. He's attacking me to get cheap access to that. So have that perspective. Be cute. Be light. Do not become what has happened to you. Be cute as an act of faith. The devil is a lie. He's a defeated foe. You only have to make a liar out of him one time. When you make a liar out of the devil one time, you can see the inconsistencies everywhere else. Be cute. Support Teeny Church. And I'm going to do a video on how he attacks children. He's coming for your legacy. He attacks your relationship. I think I'm going to merge that just into one video because I'm not married and I don't have my children. And let me tell you something. Just because you're not married and just because you don't have your children does not mean he's not attacking your spouse. The devil starts early. The devil attacks you based on who you're supposed to become. He attacks potential. I call my children's name out before they even get here. I call my husband out before I get him because I know he's already plotting. If I'm going through hell, I know he's going through hell. So just have that awareness. Be cute, be light, get in church. I don't care if the people at that church don't like you. I went to a church that I could not stand. And I used to have an attitude when I used to bulldoze, move out my way. Move out my way. I'm kidding. Anyway, I'll talk to y'all later.